pure water, but no be me go judge.
Hi there everybody, my name is Tamara and welcome to another episode of The Yellow Wall. So last week we were blessed with the only kind of documentary I'm interested in, Homecoming by Beyonce. It was truly amazing. This babe proved that she is a force to be reckoned with, but because all of you are animals on social media, instead of you to just revel in the glory that's Beyonce, you started comparing her to Michael Jackson, Choma Jesus, Neka the Pretty Serpent, just up and down, just why? What was that? I don't have time to deal with all that nonsense, so instead, I'm going to move on to what I want to talk about today. Since we're talking about an award-winning movie like Homecoming, the Tribeca Film Festival kicked off in New York recently, and the lineup looks amazing, but of course there's not one Nigerian film in the bunch, which makes me sad because Nollywood has truly come a long way. I'm sure many of you noticed the emergence of various social media accounts that are dedicated to old Nollywood. They put up pictures and videos and old quotes, and it's the absolute best thing ever. Not only does it make you feel nostalgic and remind you of happier times, but it also reminds you just how trash Nollywood used to be. I shouldn't say trash, I should say bad, shouldn't I? But it was trash. We're currently in the very early stages of a new Nollywood era, and it's nowhere near perfect yet, but one quick scroll through these vintage Nollywood accounts and you'll realize that things used to be a whole lot worse. And yet, we all watch these movies and kind of like them. Some people still watch them till today. In fact, some people still make them till today and make a whole lot of money off it. Old Nollywood reminds me of an accident. It's bad, yeah, but you can't really look away. Which brings me to my topic of today. Things that make Nollywood so terrible that it's fascinating, but still terrible. And before I get into it, I should let you know now that this list is of the things that were so bad about Nollywood that we kind of like them. So I'm not going to be talking about the directing, the writing, or the acting, because those are just bad. First off, let's start with the very first thing we see, Nollywood movie titles. Nollywood has some of the most fantastically rubbish titles in the world of film. There's Blackberry Babes, there's the many variations of love, the hidden love, forbidden love, outspoken love, for rejected love, so many. Loving love, passionate love, let's go. Spiritual love, that's the one where there's jazz inside. I can't think of any other ones. Production love. There's the ones that are clearly stolen from the West, like there's a movie called The Batman, and it's Bat and Man, clearly stolen. And then there's my personal favorite, Beyonce versus Rihanna. With titles like this, you kind of already know it's gonna be bad. But at the same time, you can't see something like Beyonce versus Rihanna and not press play. If there's one thing we've definitely improved on over the years, it's the movie titles. In fact, there's only like one or two I can think of right now with outright silly names. And I'm still looking for work in this industry. No, I'm still young, so I'm not going to name any of them. I'll just let it go. Banana Island Coast. The next terrible thing is the fact that we kind of already know what we're watching. Over the years, Nollywood has given us 5 standard plot points. Let me break it down for you. Plot 1, a young couple meets and fall in love, but there's drama, and it ends with either death or marriage. Plot 2, a couple is already married, but there's drama. So it usually ends with like a sexy mistress, a mother-in-law being played by Patience Ozokwo, and at the end, they die. Plot 3, a woman goes bad and does some bad stuff like prostitution, and in the end, she either finds Jesus or she dies. Plot 4 is when a man goes bad, and in the end, he either gets a ton of money and a wife or dies. And then finally, there's plot 5, which is any of the other 4 plots I just mentioned, but they set it in the village. With so little variation, Nollywood makes for some very easy viewing. You don't have to think too hard. You just sit back and enjoy the Ramsey Noah of the stuff. Even if you don't really watch Nollywood and therefore don't know the 5 standard plots, you'll still know what the movie is about in the first few minutes of the film because of terrible thing number 3, the music. Specifically, that one song they play like 20 times where the lyrics spell out the entire plot. I have no idea who started this trend in Nollywood, and I can't tell if the person deserves a slap or a handshake. Because while the songs usually ruin the whole plot and any form of suspense the movie might have had, I have to admit they're kind of catchy. So by the time they're playing it for the 478th time, you're not even angry anymore because you're just singing along with them. Neka, oh, neka. Don't follow that man again. Neka, neka. Your mother said stop to her. Don't follow that man again. The last terrible thing about Nollywood is technically 3 things. hair, makeup, wardrobe. The best part about these old Nollywood social media accounts is without a doubt the outfits. When you think of people like Omotola, Genevieve, Rita Dominic, you think of them today with their stunning red carpet gowns and glowing Instagram pictures. But there was a time where they actually let people dress them up like this and that. Old Nollywood gave us some truly, for lack of a better word, bold looks. The looks weren't always the most fashionable, but they were always important. And they kind of added to the plot. Once a girl stepped out in a short skirt with a spaghetti strap, you just knew she was coming to snatch somebody's husband. Once a guy was wearing sunglasses and a shirt with a rapper's face on it, it meant he had a gun and someone was going to die. The fashion was actually important. Terrible and slightly offensive to the eyes, but very, very important. And that's it. Like I said earlier, we're entering a golden new age of Nollywood cinema. That one too has small K-leg, but for the most part, it's pretty decent. But old Nollywood will always have a place in our hearts. It had its issues and it was pretty terrible, but who here doesn't sometimes like to sit down and watch a terrible movie? And then part 2, and then part 3, and then part 4. And that brings us to the end of the episode. Tell me all about how much you love or love to hate Nollywood in the comments below, and make sure you're subscribed to Accelerate TV so you don't miss all our new age Nollywood stuff. My name is Tamara and I'll be back in 2 weeks with more from The Yellow Wall.